then we can get you some. All right.
Dr. Gray, she sent those in here. If there's anybody that doesn't have their orange folder or the cards, we've got extras.
Okay, we got some.
It's running, Tony.
We have some kind of emergency where we're in our room with the students. Then you take the cards and slip one of them under the door. Don't, you know, you drill and pump it, and if you push it too far, and it winds up in the little hallway, you're not sure where it came from. So just slide it, you know, a little bit under the door. Red card means an emergency situation. And the yellow card is non-emergency that needs to be investigated in the green card, because everything is okay in your room. Okay? So that when they do, if the responders do have to come in here, then of course they're going to pay attention more to the red cards first when they go to assist or anything like that. So that's what that works. I talked to you all the other day about if you have windows, you got the big cards in here, and what you do is you just, you know, you just put these on the windows, and if it's some type of situation like active shooter, God forbid, or intruder or something like that, you put these on the windows. That way, because what they have to do is they have to clear the school and make the school safe before any type of first responders or anybody will come in. So if you got a situation, you got a window, then you just take these, you put the small ones under your door and take these to the window. And then just, if it's an emergency or whatever. So if they're away, they can take their binoculars and see if there's an issue in your room. Okay. If you look at page 5, do everyone have their own folder? Look at page 5, those are the staff members that's in charge of different areas, and it just depends on the level of the situation, whether this will come into effect or not. So, you know, you just know that these are the people that will be in charge of those things. And it continues, you flip over and look at page 6. You know, for some reason we get separated, you know, for accountability purpose, don't give me a card and go home. You know, you gotta go to the reunification site. And in this situation, the reunification site is T.J. Elder Middle School. Okay. Everybody understands when you know, something happens, you get turned around, and you know, some kind of disaster or whatever, and you know, you got some people outside, some people inside, and you get transportation, and you get separated, and you go with an elder. If it's at the high school, you go with an elder, and then that's where, once everything is stabilized, that's where the accountability piece comes in. Okay. Quick reference numbers on page 7. And then fire procedures, you have the maps. If you don't have an updated map, we'll get you an updated map so you'll know where to go. So you see the arrows will point if you're in what hall, where to go. Anybody got any questions about that? Now, I know if I'm Miss Ferris and Mr. Moore, you know, I come out, I go down this walk, and I head towards the baseball field parking lot. Now, I know that's a little bit of a walk. And then you see, but yeah, that's right, it's fit there. And you see the others where the arrows point, that will include also Ms. Brooker Watts. We'll also include that hall with Mr. Moore, Mr. Coleman, and Ms. Wall. And you see where we start with Ms. Salisbury, and on that English hall, you'll walk down your hall and go out that back door. On that science hall with Ms. McCaskill and ISS, y'all take a different direction and go out the other back door. And you do that, the reason why we do that is so people can move quickly. You try to cut down on the congestion and the bottleneck. Any questions about where anyone how they exit? Now, everybody got that. Fire drill sounds, we immediately begin the evacuation. And we have our office personnel, will be stationed. What you take with you is make sure you have your grade book and your cards. You just grab your emergency packet and you use it. Get your grade book and your cards, and the administration will be strategically stationed. We have areas that we cover, and we have our radios. And like if I'm out there, I'll check with each teacher, and you keep your students together, put them in line, take attendance for accountability. Make sure you have all of your kids. Once you have all of your kids, then as I walk by, you just hold up your card, I can check you off. Or if you miss a kid and you hold up another color card, then I know I need to come to you. Or the other administrator. So you'll be in line, you'll take attendance, we'll give you opportunity to take attendance, and then I'll just walk by and I'll just kind of point at you, and you just kind of, and then I'll call the other administrators, and once we get to all clear, we'll ring the bell, we'll come back in the building. All right, any questions on the fires?
Y'all do fire drill tomorrow?
Yeah, we have them scheduled, and since we moved to the new building, we haven't really done one, but now the construction is completely over, we'll do one. We'll actually practice one, we'll practice a couple of these procedures Monday, just to kind of start us off. All right, tornado and severe weather, thunderstorm. If the alarm goes off, it's severe weather, then, you know, we used to, I remember the days you used to come out in the hallway and get into the position. Now, what you do is you just go up under the desk. The kids just go up under the desk. Kids cannot refuse to go up under the desk, but don't fight with them. If you have an issue, then I'll come and I'll take it and we can do a private fire drill with them. Because it's state mandated, they have to do it. They don't have a choice. If there's some situation you've got a table where a kid can't, they do the very best they can. And if one just cannot get up under a desk, then they can just get against the wall and do it the old way. Okay? So any questions with that? And they'll stay in that position. The administrators will split up. We'll walk around with the resource officers. We'll check everybody to make sure that everybody's following the procedure, and then we'll give the all clear, and then we'll just resume, continue our day. Number 10, if it's a mass fatality, then basically you'll be in your room. Anything like, active shooter, anything like that, you're in your room, you lock your door, get the kids away from the door, and then have them be as quiet. Just have them be quiet, turn the light off, and then just be quiet. I don't care if somebody knock and say, "This is Alan Gray," you do not open that door. All right, until we give you the all clear. Okay? Or somebody knock, "It's me." Don't open that door. Don't answer. Don't say nothing until we give you the all clear. it's not it's just like a fire drill or something like that, we're gonna tell the students just try to get back to class. Or if they get taken with the group, if we're moving and the students coming out of the restroom and they just get into your class, as we come around, you'll say, listen, I've got Alan, he's not in my class, he's in this, his class may be on the other side of the thing, and then I'll radio and say, well, tell Sarge that I have Alan here, so he's accounted for. So then you'll keep that student till we get back, and then you'll send the child back to class. Okay? If y'all remember, in the old building, we kind of practiced intruder drill, and we're going to practice this, but we're going to do it in segments like we did it a few years ago, because something may happen when kids are changing class. And when kids are changing classes, the first thing we tell them, you just duck into the class that you're closest to. You know, and don't, you know, don't go in that class, let's go down here to this class. You know, we got to get them into the class as quick as possible. Now, as teachers, I know we don't shut the door, you know, close the door on the kids. You know, and I know it just depends on how bad it is. You know, if you get them in there, please get them in there. You know, if you can, don't close the door. Let the kids out here die. If it's doing a change of class, we just get them in there as quick as possible. And we will practice that in sections, so to not disrupt the whole school at one time. Some of y'all may remember when we did that. It's been a few years ago now. Just in case something happens. In the cafeteria, they just go up, like severe weather or something, they just go up under the tables. If it's a fire drill and the kids are in the cafeteria, then we'll just exit the cafeteria doors, and everybody that's on duty will help us with the kids in the cafeteria. Okay, bomb threat has changed because people were doing so many bomb threats, and basically what they were doing just disrupted school. So when you go into your rooms, you know, starting out, just kind of visually inventory everything that's in your rooms. You just visually inventory everything that's in your room. If we have a bomb threat, we will not evacuate. You know, we'll come over to, we'll let you know that we had a bomb threat, but we will not evacuate unless someone sees something in their room that's unusual. Okay? Unless you see something in your room that's unusual. All right? What you think of this thing? I don't even want to know.
I think about one student never brings his books.
I know it, I know it. I don't even want to know. A package, a bag, or something in your room that's unusual, then you bring it to the alert, and then that's when we'll evacuate. So please know what's in your room. Because I don't need you to discover something that's been in your room the whole time, and you just really discovered it, and then because once we evacuate, now we got to bring in the bombs, the dogs, you know, everything to clear that building. So we're going to be out there. Okay? So just, you know, just know what's in your room. We'll walk around as administrators, kind of resource officers, check bathrooms and things like that. And once we sweep the building, then we'll give the all clear, and then we resume this business, get back to business. All right, we got a call checklist for, and you need to look at this call checklist because, you know, we all have phones in our room. It's not necessarily to say they may call it in to the front office. So if they call in, you try to stay calm and ask these questions. When is it going to explode? Where is it located? What does it look like? What kind is it? What will cause it to explode? Did you recall or place the bomb? Why did you place the bomb? what's your name, and what's your address. Didn't you have to say? The sex of the caller. The sex of the caller. You know, later the call, you try to, you know, get this stuff as quickly as possible. And in the meantime, if you're talking to that person, you know, you may want to have, it's in your room, you know, you may want to have one of your students kind of come to the office and alert us to what's going on. Oh, we got intercom. Just kind of hit the intercom and call the front office and let them know that they need assistance in that classroom. Okay? So you see that, you know, caller's voice, background noise, if the voice is familiar, who did it sound like, and then the threatening language. And report the call immediately to us, and then fill out this sheet, and then we'll go from there. Okay, bomb explosion, here's what that is. Intruder on page 17. All right, intruder is individuals who do not have permission from the school office to be on school premises. That's what an intruder is. You know, years ago we tried to do a code name and say Frankenstein and all that. We just gonna say it's an intruder. Okay, we're just gonna say we have an intruder. We're not gonna try to. And then once you have an intruder, then we go into lockdown. Just same thing as a shooter, and they close the door, lock the door, cut the lights out, get the kids quiet. If somebody's in the building, you know, they should have, if somebody's walking in the hallway, they should have Mr. Martin, you stand up here. You show? They have a name tag, they should have a name tag. But sometimes we have, you know, familiarize yourself with like the board office employees, like some of the guys that are maintenance guys and things of that nature. Okay? So if you see somebody and they don't look familiar to you, it doesn't hurt to just call and say, there's a guy in a, you know, leather jacket, I'm not sure. Sir, there's a guy in a red shirt. Yeah, it's an intruder. All right, so if you're not sure, you know, you don't have to hit the panic button, just make one of us aware and then we'll check it out. Because when we have rings and we have ring sales and pictures, you'll have parents moving through, but they should have a visitor's badge on. They don't have a visitor's badge on, then you can just let us know. You know, we don't want you to, you know, confront them or anything, like, you know, what you doing in here, you know, or anything like that. You can do that up to us. Possessions of weapons on page 18. Hopefully our metal detectors will catch any weapons, but you know if you find somebody in a possession, or even hear of somebody in a possession, you need to notify us, the administration and resource officers immediately so we can go ahead and investigate. Accidents, serious injuries or illnesses, you all know, y'all call us and then we'll come. The biggest thing, if somebody tell you they don't feel well, and I know some of us fight with this. If somebody tell you, Dr. Gray, my stomach hurt. Oh, you just ate lunch, sit down, something ain't agreeing with you, go sit down. They tell you they don't feel well, thing that you need to do, or I just saw you running in the hallway, you ain't sick. They tell you not feeling well, send them to the office, all right, and let us, because the thing that we're going to do is send them home. And that way, if they're not feeling well or if they're feeling well, action, now we got issues because the child came and told you that they wasn't feeling well and we didn't send them up. And I know that you all may not be aware, we got a lot of students. We got students with EpiPens, we got students that's diabetic, we've got students that's on medication, we've got students with several types of situations that if they come and say something to you, don't try to diagnose it. You know, don't try to diagnose it. Just send them up. You know, now sometimes we just do it because we're parents, and I got a little bit of headache. Well, did you eat today? Or did you? Oh, you just need something to eat. Take these none of that. Just send them up. Yes, sir.
What about giving them the choice, like if they're out of passes, and I've had a lot of students trying to get out of class or not, just asking if they wanted the only way is a counselor referral. Are y'all all right with that? Because a lot of times if they really need it, they can use it then, and if they're not really feeling bad, they won't want to take it.
Yeah, but don't worry about the conspiracy. We'll track that. Y'all, that was it. Put that out of your hands.
So even if they've used their 3 passes, we would just like
Put
write
it
on
on
those
put
other
a
passes?
little on the bottom, and then like we said yesterday, if you suspect that somebody's taking advantage of something, you can bring it to our attention.
Gotcha.
And there's ways that, I told you a story when I was in alternative school, the boy kept acting like he had to go to the bathroom, And then I finally told him, I said, boy, listen, you can't come back to school till you get your kidneys checked. You're not gonna go into kidney failure with me. And once I told him that, no, I ain't gotta go back. So there's ways to stop them from doing that. And when you start talking about mama having to take them to the hop, get mama up here, don't come back without your mama. Get mama, listen, this boy's got to go to, every day, 5th period, this boy got to go to the bathroom. So you need to take him to the doctor. That's the quickest cure. So don't try to, don't worry about if they playing a game or something like that. If you think that they're taking advantage of something, you just let us know. And then let us deal with it. Okay? Yeah, take it out of your hands. Any more questions on that? Yes, sir.
I've had a couple of kids in my career that had like going in seizures and stuff, and you try to call the office, and you get in the office, but before we had the intercom, the old building, the intercom didn't work. So you call the phone, and then you get online, and when you get on the phone, you have to go through that sequence, that phone system we have. Is there any way we could get what I call like a 911 number that you could just dial the number and you go through it, like, it gets one building, somebody picks it up, so I got a bad situation, I need somebody in now. You understand, to avoid all that, because you have to go through that, it takes maybe a minute or two to go through the sequence.
Yeah. Well, if somebody's having if somebody's having a seizure, what you do is you lay them down, lay them on his side, and then you can hit the intercom or
hit the intercom, or Miss Moy is 2204. When you dial straight 2204,
I'm not just talking about seizures, I'm talking about anything, like,
Anything.
if push comes, we have like a fire in one of our lounges or something.
I'd say the intercom's the way to get there.
Intercom's the way,
I need
Teresa
help.
here said,
yeah, you get that intercom, but especially in this new building. I know in the old building,
The intercom, sometimes we have issues with it in our classroom.
but push comes shove, send the student. Yeah, just send the student. So we don't have like a 911 line. Yeah. But if we got even with that, if we got 2 situations, we still get a busy signal. You know what I'm saying? With the intercom, you don't get no busy signal. This intercom, you get no work. All right, definitely staff member, student, if we have, and unfortunately we've experienced this, not in the building, but, outside the student, we dispatch the counselors and the counselors from the other schools, and we'll set up a room. Most of the time it's this conference room right over here. We set up a room, we send the kids in, and we try to help them. And if it's something that we can't help them with, we call the parents to come come and pick them up, okay? And then eventually, we try to help them work through that. If you have students, and again, don't try to determine if the student, oh, ain't nothing wrong with you, just want to go down there with your friend. Send them, please. Just send them. Don't worry about, conspiracies, or they're trying to get out of something. If they're grieving or they appear to grieve, just send them to the center. Even if they want to be with their friend, that might be something that helps in the recovery process. Would y'all agree with that?
I agree.
Y'all have anything to add with that? Okay. So we will get counselors, and like I said, if somebody's just overwhelmed with grief, then we handle it on our end. Okay? And make sure that if something happens in the neighborhood, kids come to school and they like to talk about it here in class. And they like to sometimes they like to get people stirred up. If you hear that going on, that one is incident, you need to get them out of the room. You need to get them out of the room, send them to the office, notify the administrator what's going on, because they'll start those rumors, and then they'll start those rumors, and next thing you know, we got a situation where kids are not feeling safe coming to school because somebody done told a story about somebody said something, and that's why he got shot, because his mother told him that, and then his brother did this, and kids, they just, and you'd be surprised, kids don't have nothing to do with it. Don't even live in the neighborhood, don't even know the people. They want to attach themselves, they want to pick a side. And next thing you know, we got a potential mess. So if you see that going on, if you even hear it, and y'all do a good job of bringing it to our attention, and that's why we haven't really had an issue to now. But y'all do a good job of bringing it to our attention, and trust me, when y'all bring it to our attention, we don't just, well, everything will be all right. We go get them immediately, and we check out that situation. And because you all have done that in the past, it has really avoided a potential explosion in the school. Okay, suicide in school, what we'll do basically is we'll lock down and then we'll take care of it. Bus accidents, they won't apply to us, other than may cause some lateness. Depends on the severity of the accident, we may have to dispatch counselors in that situation. Look at your transportation department, just for your information, kind of gives you a breakdown of the transportation department. Student disruptions, we kind of handle that like we've always handled it. Fortunately, we hadn't had any disruptions where it's a whole bunch of them, because you all do a good job of being alert enough to know when something is brewing, and y'all do a good job of letting us know, and so we can kind of head that off. And sometimes we get calls when something happens in the community. Sometimes we'll get calls from from a parent or an adult letting us know that something happened over the weekend, and y'all just need to be aware. So as long as that stuff continues, then we should be okay. Again, if something's going on, you have your intercom, you have your phones, you have your assistant instructors, we have our resource officers, and of course we have the administration. Runaways, the biggest thing with that is just this is high school, and pretty much if a student walks out of this building between classes or whatever, thank God we have cameras and things like that. We've had them run out the building before. Pretty much what we do is we notify the parent. And the thing that has saved us is you all have been alert enough through doing your attendance, through sending your attendance up, that we could catch it. Now the issue that happens if a kid leaves first period, and because we're not doing the protocols we have in place, we don't recognize it until 7th period. and then the kid that went out there and the parent thinks that that child is in school, but we don't catch it because we're not doing what we're supposed to do, and then something happens. Because you all know whenever something happens that cannot be explained, the reason why they do that back investigation is because when things happen sometimes it doesn't make sense. But if I got somebody to blame it on, then it makes sense. But if Alan Gray had to deal with what he was supposed to, that wouldn't have happened. That's the whole reason why, you know, they backtrack on things that just doesn't make sense. And then if I can blame somebody, then it makes sense. So just you know, do our attendance. We have things in place to catch those kind of things. And that way, if we alert, then we just pull up the camera. We got a time frame. We pull up the camera and we try to see what exit they left out of. But the first thing I do is I pick the phone up and call the parent. And then sometimes Officer Hatcher and I will jump in the car and ride out to the house or go to the parent's job or something like that. Now, we've had them walk right out to, we had one young man a couple of years ago, the parent was here to sign out her daughter. He was in the office, they were neighbors, he walked right out with him. But we knew it immediately. So then Chief and I, we jumped in the car and rolled over and got the mom. We wound up, then we found the Chief. We wound up,
Is that when we went to the house and the man said it sounded like the police now?
yeah. Banging on the door. The man was asleep. He was banging on the door. He said, "Who is it? You knocking like the police?" I said, "He is the police." But it was the uncle. And I'm telling you, y'all think they will lie. If we're standing there and they think that child is in trouble, they will stand there and look at you and lie because they don't want the child to get in trouble. Yeah, I saw him. He's all right. I saw him. He was over there, you know. So we jump in the car and go over there, and we eventually got the mom and eventually found out that he was safe. Sometimes they get mad. Sometimes they get mad and they'll just walk right out the door. I'll get Chief, we'll get in the car, we'll ride along right beside him. Trying to talk him down, trying to talk him back in the car. We'll follow him all the way to the house. Mama let her know he's coming. Am I lying, Chief? And we do. One, we got beat him to the house. He come walking, he saw our car and he just kept right on. So, but the whole key is that we know in a timely manner and we alert the parent. We're not gonna grab them and try to hold on to them and, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
Sometimes they want lunch.
Yeah, they'll leave after lunch. Right. Yes, ma'am.
When you mentioned cameras, you got me to thinking about our gym and multi-purpose area down there and bus ramp. Have we gotten cameras on there?
Well, it's in the process.
Okay.
Yeah, they used to have them, and then they put some tile in there or something happened, but we have a request in.
Okay,
To
good.
we told them we need them down there. So the request is in for those cameras to be reinstalled down there. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Doesn't, like if you mark a student absent, doesn't it come through on the parent report? Somehow, because I know I've had a parent call me before first period was over.
Yes, it does.
You know what?
Yes,
That's
they will.
That's a good point. Because I'm gonna tell you, what's the scenario we get, that,
I can put a tardy in the computer, and in 10 minutes, a parent will call me.
If the parent has a smartphone and they have that portal,
it alert them all.
it generates a message to them anytime you do anything, attendance, grades, any of it, that something's happening in there and they know to go look
But you have to have it.
immediately. But it has to be
Right.
to the iPhone or a smartphone to do that.
Yeah, the notification has to be turned on. But we've had situations where we mark the kid absent.
Well, sometimes the child will come in late and they won't sign the tardy sheet. They'll go straight to class. And if they don't get a tardy from the office, and they don't sign that tardy sheet, and somebody's turned them in as absent, there's no way for me to fix that. And then the parent will call and say, you've got my child marked absent, and then I have to go back and backtrack to see where the child is.
Yeah, but there was a situation, not that situation. There was a situation where it was something that we were supposed to do that we were not doing. And it caused the parent to call, I don't remember.
Oh, the child wasn't marked absent.
That's what it was.
The child wasn't reported absent.
The child was not marked absent. The parent looked at the portal and called and said, y'all have my child present. My child's sitting right here with me. That's what it was. We didn't mark him absent, and the parent called and said, y'all got my child present. My child's sitting right here with me. That's the one I was talking about.
And that's why I asked y'all to send me the names of the students that are absent, and also if they've been out 2 or 3 days, it gives me I put them in one by one, and it gives me the opportunity to see how many consecutive days they've been out, or if there's an issue or a problem I can kind of track what's going on with each student.
Yeah. And it is critical from an accountability piece. Y'all always hear me say accountability. Lead a building, let us know. It's an accountability piece. And everything is good until somebody goes missing. Then you start going into the attendance and things like that. And if you're not doing your part, then you become liable. And I always go back to this every year when we had that situation when those girls jumped on that girl. I always talk about that. And Ms. Ferris and myself and Ms. Jackson, was it just us three? Stacey, you didn't have to go to court, did you? Yeah, and Ms. Taylor. And they put us all in a room, and then they separated us. Then they marched us up on the stand. And I wasn't in the court, with none of us in the court to hear what the other one said. And the first question they asked was what? Where were you?
The thing I'll never forget is they asked me what type of shoes the young lady had on.
That's right.
You think about what you're thinking about in that situation, and they want to know what kind of shoes she had.
And it wasn't just a defense, it was the prosecution too. Because when I got up there, they said, well, where were you?
They all three had different lawyers.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. They all had their own attorneys, and they separated us, and they put us up on that stand, and I couldn't hear what she said, she couldn't hear what I said, and they wanted to see if we were where we were supposed to be. Because what were they looking to do? They were looking to lay blame. They were looking to find negligence. And if one of us would have said, well, I was in my classroom because I was dealing with a student right before when the bell sounded, but I was on my way. Wrong answer. Then the question was going to be, well, where were you supposed to be? Where I was supposed to be at my door. That's real life. That happened to me and some of your colleagues. That's why that stuff is, that accountability piece, y'all, that supervision piece, I cannot emphasize that enough. Because they think the school has insurance. Well, the school do have insurance, but they think that's where the money is. And the only reason that and Grandma, y'all saw the news? Grandma was on the news, just got a makeover. Did y'all see it? Had a nail done, had her hair done. And I'll never forget that. And she was sitting on there rocking, talking about, oh, they jumped on my baby. And at school, and they just jumped on my baby. And I couldn't go on there, I can't even talk about it. So they can go on there and say whatever they want to say. And I can't get on the news and say, that ain't what happened. You know? And that's the truth. We cannot talk about it. Especially if they're minors, and those girls were minors. So we're confidentiality. We can't, I mean, y'all saw other incidents where people are accused and they can't even go and defend themselves. So that's why you always hear me harp on supervision and accountability of these students and taking attendance. And how many times have you done something 99 times and I walk in the room and you ain't, for some reason, you ain't doing that? I mean, y'all will even have that conversation. You say, Dr. I'll put that thing in there, and today you're going to come in this room. And that's how it works. So that's why I always harp on that. You know, we did have that situation with utilities. I don't know if y'all was even aware of it. Well, one morning, we got a call that they were smelling gas. And we called, it happened early in the morning, so we called the people out, and it was a little tube that wasn't capped, a little pipe that wasn't capped outside of the teacher's lounge. And it had a little turnover valve, and they didn't cap it, so the gas was coming out. So of course, we got the responders out, and they found it and turned it off before, thank God, before school started. But so you do have utility emergencies and after-hours bills and emergencies. As far as after hours, and especially our activity people, you know, if we unlock a door or I don't know what you call those things where you push it in and lock it and it stays unlocked. What is that called? Dog and mullet. If we unlock those doors and stuff, let's just make sure that we lock them back. And make sure that all of them, mullet?
One is the dogging and one is the mullet, and I get confused which one it is.
The dogging and the mullet. So the dogging is the thing that's between the doors.
Right, I think
right, and the mullet is the thing that's on the
to make it stay unlocked.
Right. So I don't
You should
know.
have to use an outlet.
But a lot of times, let's just make sure that when we're leaving, we have a coach come in last to close those doors. Just for some. All right, evacuations, of course, we'll sound the fire alarm if we need to evacuate, and then we know the procedures for that. We'll just follow our maps and know our procedures for that. Lockdown, same thing, whether it's intruder, active shooter, you get the lockdown code, you just lock your door. We got the cards, kind of talks about the protocol there. All right, somebody asked me about look here on page 34, it kind of tells you our schedule as far as fire drills, tornado drills, and the drill schedule. So fire drills monthly, tornado drill August, October, February, March, and April. Intruder / active shooter, August, September, November, January, April. Bomb drill, December, earthquake drill, November, and disaster recovery. I don't know how we're going to do that. But we'll just keep talking about that. All right, any questions as far as emergencies is concerned? Did I leave out anything?
Everybody in your black bag today should have got a severe weather map, a fire drill map, and a school map. If you need extras, just email me and I can email you one if you like.
And the map that you got in your black bag is the most updated.
Yeah, everything.
Okay, so it may not, it's the most updated one. So please follow that. Because I know with, like ROTC for an example, the old one had them coming out through the cafeteria, and the new one got you just going out your back door. Same with chorus, same with band. And you coming in, now it's got you just going out your back door. So there were a few changes in that. Anything else? Administration, anything else? All right, tomorrow, we have open house. You don't have to report till 10 o'clock. And open house is running from 1 to 6. What we would like to do as far as our Schoology, at the very least, if you have a parent, maybe get a couple iPads or something from the media center, so you can get as many parents and kids signed up as possible. I know most of y'all have your classes already laid out. If you haven't done that, let's try to get that. Let's go ahead and get that done. And then when you get your access codes, 1 through 6, line them up. And if you would, email them to me. So that we can join in on those classes. But at open house, it would be real nice if you can get your kids signed up right there, and you got the parent right there, and you can kind of give them a brief, because they come in one at a time anyway. So you can kind of get as many of them signed up as you can. Make yourself out of law, because those kids ain't gonna remember those access codes. But if I'm not mistaken, you should get an email. I know I got an email. I got an email on every one of y'all that have joined from my group, and I got an email on everyone that that joined your particular department groups. So you should get an email. So if you get the first person in there, you sign them up, and you check your email, and that access code pops through, then you don't need to do a log. You can just print that. That's what I'm doing. I'm just printing them and putting them in a folder in case somebody forget and I have to revisit. So as many of them we can get signed up with parents would be great, and then we can get the rest of them signed up when they come to school.
The kid has to sign up before the parent can sign up.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? But
Yes,
the
ma'am.
kid has a unique access.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So you go under your department, you go under the department, and then you'll like if it's PE, you go under group and click on PE, and you'll see physical education at the top. And then you go to your courses. I'm sorry, thank you, Cody. You go to your courses, and then you'll pull up first period, hit join. That kid will type in that, well, you get the kid registered first. They'll register under student, just like we did, but it'll be under student. And then you'll go to courses, and you'll pull up whatever period they're in, and then the access code, you'll hit join. You click on that class, you hit join, and then they type in the access code that you give them. That'll make them a member of that class, and then when they become a member of a class, they'll get an access code down in the corner, and that's the access code that goes to the parent. So if you haven't started that process, please go ahead and start that process. And let's get everybody in and joined, and classes at least identified. So the open house is going to be probably out of all the parent nights, tomorrow is going to be when we have the most parents here. And y'all know that. When open house here is being the ones we need to see, the ones we don't see. Okay? Any other questions? All right, after the meeting, if I can ask the new employees to stay, and if you have a reading enrichment class,